365 days a year. Same 4 o'clock, 9 o'clock, midnight, 4 o'clock, 9 o'clock count time, on the clock, on the dot. Same asshole officers, same menu week in, week out, same commissary list, same grays, same green, same track, same fucking bullshit. You know what I mean?
Maya.
Oh my God,
Red
it feels so
January.
good for somebody to call my name. Say it again.
Maya. Red January. The transition.
It happened in that place.
Let's talk about it.
The first prayer that I prayed when I finally touched down on federal FBOP, Federal Bureau of Prison Property, was, God, give me peace and allow me to hear your audible voice. I need to hear you like you right here talking in my ear. I don't know why that was my prayer, but that was my prayer. And God showed me what true peace that passes all understanding really is. Because I didn't cry in the sentencing. I didn't cry when they put the cuffs on me. I didn't cry in the county. And it wasn't that I didn't feel emotional. It was that I was left with nothing but my highest self. And in that darkness, I had no choice but for my highest self to emerge. And a strength that I didn't know I had, because I went straight from Granny's house to my husband's house. So for all intents and purposes, I had been kept my entire life.
Right.
Never had to do it on my own, so really didn't know what I was made of.
Then here you are. There you are in that space, and you spent some time even prior to that alone, but now you're in that space and place, and you're talking to the Most High and inviting him in and telling him to come in and speak to you and guide you, really, you know what I'm saying?
Because what else do I have?
Yeah.
What else do I have? I'm trusting my mom, who's let me down so many times before, and my dad, who I don't really know, to look after my kids, because I don't want the full pressure of raising my young kids on my grandmother and my great-grandmother. They've done enough. I have absolutely zero control over anything that's happening in my life. I don't know who's in my house getting my shit, what's gonna happen, I don't know nothing. All I could do is raise my kids from my knees. So I had to completely relinquish control of everything that I left. And that was something that I had to do right away. That is the thing that eats people up when they go inside, when they have to leave their lives behind. You don't have control. You're writing letters home, giving people instructions to do shit for you, hoping they make the deadline, spending all your phone minutes trying to make sure shit is done. So,
but you don't have no control.
Yeah, so I quickly understood that I was going to have to figure out how to get a peace that couldn't be infiltrated by shit that I couldn't control.
So the Most High is there. You asked for this. You had no choice. You were backed in the corner. You was in that dark hole. So let's talk about the birth of Red January.
So as I began to search for peace, other lessons that I needed to learn in that time began to find me. Whether it was through relationships with women who I thought were sisters or friends or whatever, just every relationship, every situation was magnified, being set apart, being away from the world. The rest of my responsibilities, my focus was on what was right in front of me. That was it. And so I began to recognize these lessons right away, and I became invested in learning these lessons right away. I poured myself into this school that the Most High was taking me through, that Spirit was taking me through. I quickly identified what was happening, because there's no other explanation for the experience that I'm having right now based off my life circumstances. I have not lived a foul life. I do not deserve this. I am not guilty of what they are saying that I'm guilty of. I have been forthcoming and honest in everything that I have done, down to cheating on my husband. I've been real about my shit. So God, what is this? And he took me through a journey that evolved me so blatantly that I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't hide from it. I just had to get the fuck on board and go for the ride.
It was loud
It
and
was
clear.
so clear and vivid and colorful and vibrant. And I was fasting and praying. And it was so easy for me to structure my evolution. My grandmother paid for me to take a program where I was certified as a personal trainer with a reputable personal trainer program. And I one class away from being a master trainer when I get out of prison. So I'm changing my body. And I'm talking about prison body. When you see the men come home from prison and you can tell they've been in prison, when I came home, you could tell I had been locked up because you could bounce a quarter off my ass.
Banging, yeah.
C-section, 2 C-sections, 3 kids later, 30-something years old, I'm bad than a motherfucker. Like, I've been able to do that. And in doing that, it cultivated a hunger to grow my mind. And so I became a student of myself. And while fasting and praying, it was literally like I was levitating and I was getting these downloads, and the Holy Spirit was taking me on this journey and showing me these things through my studies and the books that I was reading and the videos that I was watching and my dreams. I journaled it. I took an account of everything. Habakkuk chapter, I think 2 verse 15 said, to write it down on tablets so that even a runner could read it and go and tell other people. We are instructed to write the vision down. That's how manifestation works. We get a thought in our mind, we speak it, and that brings it into the natural. You write it down and it becomes real. Now it becomes like a wheel or a ball that's moving downhill, that's picking up steam, that's growing and getting bigger. This is the template. And this is what I did, not knowing that that's what I was doing. I was just being obedient and giving myself something to do in this boring ass fucking place. And as I would dream and I would write these things down, the story just began to evolve and started to come together. And it was almost like I was writing a book, but it was actually me then creating my now reality, from cutting out pictures out of magazines of things that I want and sticking them in my journal, and I can go back in my journal and, oh, I have that now. Didn't even realize that was one of the fucking pictures, or a book that I said I wanted to get, or a place that I wanted to go, you know. And there was an officer that when his ass could be slick enough to say it on the cool, he would call me Lil Red. Well, my last name is January. That's I did a Tina Turner on that husband. That's the one thing I'm gonna keep, is that name, because it is pretty fucking cool.
It is.
You know, and I have this tattoo of my name on my wrist, and it says Maya, and it's got the music notes and things. And I kind of like that he called me Red, because I was getting some attention from a man, because I'm in here with all these fucking women. He was actually really fucking cool, you know, and he used to give me, you know, privileges that other people wouldn't get. And I knew it's because he thought I was cute or whatever, but so.
Okay.
And so I started to doodle this doodle, but instead I would put Red January. This is actually what my logo came from, my Red January logo. So I started to doodle that all the time. And so there was a girl who made coffee mugs, and I drink coffee every day. Gotta have it. Don't talk to me before I've had it.
Come on, Keefe.
Okay, with that nasty shit. But
yeah,
you already know I'm sick of you. What do you know about that?
Black bag.
But so for our birthdays, one of my sister friends had a cup made for me, and it was with that Red January doodle on it. And I drank my coffee out of that every single day. And that's the one thing I took from prison with me to the halfway house. And so fast forward, we're in the halfway house. We're not supposed to have smartphones. We can't have social media, any of that. Well, of course, everybody does. And the first thing I did was get a Facebook account, but I had Maya January as my name. Well, something said, yeah, you better change that, because they're going to look for that and you're going to get in trouble. So I changed my handle on Facebook to Red January. And it stuck, because I'm just getting out of prison. So people that are looking for me that used to know me can't find me, because they can't find Maya Lawton. They can't find Maya January. So as they begin to find Red, maybe we haven't talked in years, and now they're used to seeing Red. So now they're calling me Red. People that know me from back in the day are calling me Red. And it stuck. And I just used it as my moniker. it was so organic. So
Yeah,
the story of
that
Red
is pretty
January.
cool. You know, that's the actually yeah. You guys know that we got a few years history, and I never heard that story. So you know what I'm saying. Thank you for
I mean, it was
sharing
so
that.
organic.
And
Yeah.
no, you asked for that,
Mhm.
and it was in his timing to give it to you, and he
Mhm.
knew how to give it to you at the right time so you can cultivate it. You know.
Yeah.
So now we're out, and you're said halfway house. So you're still out here in Texas, right?
Mhm.
In the
Mhm.
halfway house.
So I knew through my fasting, through my praying, through really being intentional about planning my life on the other side of these walls, because the world has changed.
Hmm.
When I got locked up, there weren't smartphones and Siri and GPS, on the phone. You had to have a separate device for your
Holder, yeah.
GPS. Like there were so many things that in 5 years, when the world changes, when you get out, it's different. You
Yeah,
don't
you went in
know.
with beepers and came out with
I
cell
had no
phones.
damn beepers, but don't try to put me in your age group.
I know.
Show that. But I had to get reacclimated. The world was a new digital place that I was not familiar with. So I golly, man. So halfway house. So I had to go, I had to go get my kids.
What was that right there? What was that right there? That moment right there. What was that?
I wasn't ready. While I was in the halfway house, I had so much pressure from home. So let me circle back in prison. So I knew I couldn't go back home. I knew I couldn't go back to Topeka, Kansas. I knew it was going to smother me. I
Okay.
knew I was going to die in that place because I had cultivated my gifts in prison. I'm singing in church on Thursdays and whatever and Sundays, and I'm praise dancing. I'm doing whatever creative. I'm teaching arts and crafts. I'm teaching rec classes and P90X and Insanity. Like I'm really active. Like all the guards, the warden, everybody knows who I am.
So you didn't want to come home and ex-con.
I wanted to be active and be doing shit the right way because I spent my time preparing for my life outside of that place.
Do you think you were running from something?
No, I think I was creating, I was preparing myself to be everything that I dreamed about and manifested in that place.